Okay, in this video, we're going to cover how to create a text-based sales automation sequence. So in this case, I've got a couple examples right here. One's paused, one's started, and then one is in a draft mode. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this draft mode. Now, the first thing you're going to be asked to do is name this sequence, then identify which email account you want to send the emails from, along with who is the name of the person, along with the reply to address and the reply to name. And then you can also select a signature. Now, we give you the option of creating multiple signatures, so you can select whichever one. A lot of people like to use test signatures that might have images, some without, maybe some with different calls to actions, different footers, etc. Now, when you can access that by simply just selecting your down arrow, and you can also update an existing signature and save it as a new one. Okay, now once you have got the basics, what's the name of the sequence, who is it coming from, you've picked the email address that you've connected the system to, then the next step would be to look at whether or not you want to track the opens or track the clicks. Now, there's a lot of evidence that suggests that you'll get better deliverability if you shut these off. But since this is a brand new sequence, you're going to want to understand what subject lines are working best. So track the opens, and then what body copy gets the most clicks. So subject lines generate opens, body copy generates clicks. Now, once you've done that, you could then duplicate the content and shut these off, which will allow you to really refine your campaigns. Then you select the campaigns tab. This is where right now, in this case, I've got about 1,761 contacts that I'm going to drop into this campaign. You can also add contacts from an existing search that you've already done. Okay, so then you go to steps. Now, this is where you actually build out your sequences. Now, one of the advantages of our application is we don't just do A-B splits, we do ABC splits. And there's an advantage to this in a couple of areas. One is the more variations of an email you have, the less likely you'll be flagged as sending a lot of spam because you're sending different variations of the same message. So that helps you there. And then also it just helps you identify the winning combinations of subject lines and body copy faster. So we like to see people do at least 2 split tests, if not 3. So because you're constantly going to try to determine what works the best. Now, when you're writing a sequence, you can simply upload a sequence. In this case, I'm referencing a video of our website visitor tracking technology. And I'm going to try different versions of subject lines along with messages. So I create this, I can save this as a template, or I can access a previously created template. Okay, so in fact, this one, we can simply say save template. I can call it website visitor ID step 1A. Now, we like to label these as steps 1A, 2A, 2B, etc., so that you can select the right template based on what stage of the sequence you're going after. So you simply upload these. A lot of times people will just cut and paste this from Word, and then they'll just say, okay, this is my first 2 variations for step 1. You'll see 1A, 1B. And then you'll say, okay, what kind of delay do I want in between steps? Now, 5 days is usually good because not everybody opens up their emails at the same time. They might get buried, they might be on vacation, they're out of office. So 5 days is a pretty good rule, 4 days, 3 days, but some people will do 1 day. Some people might have a sequence that's, 14 steps over 10-day period. That's the idea, is to find out what is the right number of touches over what period of time. So if they don't, in this case, don't open the email after 5 days, I'm sending them another email. And this will be slightly different. I'm going to change the copy up and I'm going to change the subject line. Then I'm going to come down, and if they don't respond to that message, then I'm going to send them a third message. Now, after 3 messages, if they haven't responded, I'm going to stop sending to that person because that impacts my reach. The more steps I'm sending to the same people, the less email I'm sending to new contacts. And all because I send someone one email and they don't respond doesn't mean by sending them another email that they will. But typically speaking, you might want to have anywhere between 3 to 7 steps in a sequence. Now, the advantage of the platform too is you can come over here and you can actually see a variation right ahead of time. You can see the personalization and get a sense for what this email is going to look like. There's long form, which is more methodical, and then there's short forms, which are designed just to get a response. So you've got to test different variations of those. You can send yourself test emails for each one of those to make sure you like the way that they're rendering. Okay, so I'm going to save changes. Then I'm going to select my schedule. I'm going to say skip holidays. And I can either grab a sending template from my saved templates or schedule section within my settings, or I can just drag and drop and send this whenever I like. Obviously, this is a business email, so we want this to go out Monday through Friday. I don't like to email people early on Mondays, so we'll start at 10:30, and then the rest of the week we'll do 8 or 7:30 in the morning till 4 or 4:30 at the end of the day. So then I'm going to say, okay, save my changes. Now we have a rules engine. This is very powerful for connecting with people on LinkedIn based on their behavior. Now, technically speaking, when you can ask to connect with someone on LinkedIn, you're supposed to have some kind of relationship with them. Well, most of the automation tools out there will arbitrarily pull a list from either Navigator or just regular LinkedIn of your ideal prospects, whether you know them or not, and just arbitrarily invite them to connect. Well, in this case, we believe that follows more the user guidelines of LinkedIn more closely when you're actually sending an email to someone based off their behavior. So you can send a connection request on LinkedIn if they open the email so many times, whether they click on the link more than twice, or maybe they reply. Now, why do I say 2 times? Well, a lot of spam software will check the link out and create what we call a false positive before they send the email to their user. So you want to have a minimum of 2 to 3 either link clicks or opens to make sure that that person indeed opened it. And in this case, you can add any variable and add any kind of message that you would like. And then you can even add another step if you want. Maybe you want to say, hey, call the prospect if they open my email more than 4 times because they're showing quite a bit of interest. So let's create a task to automatically connect with them. And here's the emails. When you start sending your emails, you're going to see the emails that are going out. You'll also have the inbox where you're able to uh, flag emails as either negative, neutral, positive, or as MQLs, SQLs, marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads, or unqualified. And you'll be able to select the responses and actually push them into your CRM like HubSpot, Salesforce, or Pipedrive if you're not using our included CRM. And then, of course, you'll have a reporting engine that will tell you how many emails that you sent, opened, clicked, and replied. And then we'll also give you some insights into the personas that are actually, and firmographics that are actually responding best to that campaign. So once you have your campaign set, it's all good to go. You go back to campaigns, and you'll notice you have some controls on the right-hand side. It'll give you a list of all of your campaigns. Ones that have started, haven't started, you can edit an existing campaign, you can delete a campaign, You can copy a campaign. So maybe you want to make a completely different version, but you liked some of the copy. So you just want to make some minor adjustments. So copy it and then edit that. Or you can launch the campaign by simply selecting the green arrow, and off it goes. And these results will not only be at that stage, but they will also capture your campaign success in your dashboard. But if you really want to drill down into it, you're going to look in your sequence section and go to each campaign to get the real details on the performance of each one. Okay, so that's a good look at how to build a sequence. Let us know if you have any questions. We're glad to help. Thank you.